What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with the next episode of Underrated and Overlooked, episode number 12. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. The Underrated and Overlooked series was a series that I created at the beginning of 2015, trying to showcase to you guys some of those 2-star and 3-star farmable fusible units that people considered that didn't really look at but are truly dark horses and can be utilized to improve your PvE and PvP progression here. So, fast forwarding to now, we brought it back after a request from our fans, and now we're going to be focusing on 3-star, 4-star units, both light and dark, as well as the regular elements. I'm talking about some of the units that we are really keen on when it comes to live PvP, right? We're going to be focusing on live PvP for these next episodes, because that's kind of where the trend is going now with regards to what they're adding in the game, okay? The unit that we're going to be talking about today is one that is going to be criticized for quite some time. Shout out to all my fans as well as all my haters one time. Love you all. Olivia, the Wind Neostone Asian is going to be the unit we're featuring today. Now, let's take a look at its kit and then let's talk about why this unit is kind of pushed aside, okay? We have ourselves Preemptive Strike, attacking the enemy for 2 times, 25% chance to glance on the first skill for 2 turns, okay? Next one, Briefing, removes all harmful effect on the ally and fills up the ally's attack bar, okay? Last but not least, we got ourselves hitting the enemy 2 times with each attack and then decreasing the attack bar by 25%. Additionally, providing the defense buff for 3 turns on all allies. And of course, we have ourselves the leader skill that you get when it's awakened, improving the defense of ally monsters by 33% in guild battles. So, when people initially saw this, they got really excited because they're like, oh, wait a second, this unit has a defense buff and a defensive leader skill for guild battles. This screams, let's use this with Copper, let's use this with Bulldozer, right? But unfortunately, because of the fact that it only provides the defensive buff on both ends, but not a critical rate buff like Randy or like Imseti does, that forces you, the player, to put a little bit more higher quality runes in an effort to get him at near, 100% critical rate. So, of course, with units like Randy or this particular unit that has that defense critical rate and resurges, or surges up, this obviously, takes the top pick when it comes to units that you can use in Guild Wars in combination with defensive-based units like Copper and Bulldozer or whatnot. So it kind of gets pushed to the side. Now, let's take a look at what people don't see. Okay, what people don't see is that second skill, it is Briefing, right? Removes harmful effects and on the ally target and fills up the ally's attack bar, okay? Reducible in 4 turns. What people don't realize is that this can actually be reduced down to 2 turns, right? Down to 2 turns. When we think about this one, we're like, oh, it's a resurge, kind of like Konamiya, but the resurge on Konamiya gives the attack buff, so it works good with those offensive uses that require that attack buff, okay? We're going to be talking about a little bit why this unit gets the top notch over a Konamiya in certain aspects, okay? So stay tuned for that. Then last but not least, attacks the enemies 2 times with each attack, decreasing the attack bar by 25%, right? And then, again, this one is going for 5 turns, okay? Believe it or not, guys, this also gets reduced down to 3 turns, not 4, 3. Most of these strong, natural 4-star units that support units, base units, right? Natural 4-star support base units that have really strong kits on the 3rd skill have anywhere from a 5 to 7 turn cooldown time to start, and then they get brought down to 4 to 6, 4 to 5, or whatever. This is one of those few units that actually gets its skill reduced down to 3 turns versus 4. Why is this so important? Because when we're talking about live PvP, there are so many different comps that people have to bring to the table. This is not something that people can mimic others. You have to bring unique units because you guys understand that you cannot duplicate the other opponent's team. You cannot use the same units. So what that means is when we're thinking about live PvP, we got to look at some of those unique and orthodox units with the kits that are going to be able to support some of our stronger units that we currently have. Okay, so the following information that I'm going to provide to you guys now is going to be information that has been passed on to me by one of the more respected and well-known players in the Guardian 3 community today on the global side. Foi. If you guys are familiar with him, he is a member of the Epic Fail Alpha. He is a G3 player and former #1 TOA player, speed rusher. Okay, if you guys, some of you top players out there, are very familiar with him in such that he has, since the live PvP became a part of, he has definitely been making some amazing compositions, testing them out with a lot of you guys, and had really kind of mixing and matching rune builds and units to see where other units could shine. And so some of you guys have seen him utilize this Olivia. He wanted to go ahead and chime in today on providing his insight on this unit after practicing, after studying with him for quite a few weeks now. So Foi states that this particular unit screams live PvP if you're considering using a bruiser comp, okay, or a turn denial team. We can understand the bruiser comp in that aspect, that is having that 100% uptime on a defense break, on a defense buff. Defense being one of the most underrated buffs out there. You know, people using it, you know, for TOAH, it's been kind of climbing, you know, it's been trending for a little bit, but still to this day, I still see more people than not take advantage of units that provide defensive buffs on there, and taking advantage of setting up your unit to have that overall effective HP, those well-ran assassins, so you could take full advantage of a defensive buff, okay? As well as the bruiser comps, the turn denial comps is big. You guys can understand that. Having the ability to reduce the attack bar, having the ability to improve your attack bar in addition to removing the harmful effects. A unit that has skills like this works really, really well with turn denial teams. Combining this with your Orion, combining this with your Vertihill, you can see where a unit like this can truly shine. Okay, so looking at the stats here overall, obviously you don't get to see the stats as it would be max, so I just want to kind of go ahead and point those out. Olivia's stats is 10.3k HP, so not too shabby at all. Attack we're not too concerned about, 681. Defense 604, which is relatively average. I feel like 650 is in that kind of average range. And then speed 104, which is pretty acceptable, okay? As far as the recommendations for rune builds, okay, you guys know we're talking about endgame live PvP, so Violent Set is going to be a must. The goal for this particular unit is to make him as fast as possible, with as much resist and tankiness as possible. Those are going to be the main things. Foi recommends focusing on speed and resistance, first and foremost, as you don't want to get this, you don't want to have one of your units that are going to give you extra turns locked down for whatever reason, okay? And so with regards to subsets, there's a lot of good subsets that you can he can recommend. He talks about revenge, he talks about focus, but his first and foremost choice for nemesis for subset is going to be violent nemesis. Anything you can do to generate those turns is going to be strong, and violent nemesis does that. Again, revenge is okay because it gives you the opportunity to provide that glancing on the first skill, but nemesis is going to be the strongest one today. So again, guys, that is it. That is your homegirl here, Olivia, the Wind Neostone agent, a clutch unit when it comes to live PvP. Bruiser comps, turn denial comps, an amazing support unit, amazing cooldown times, just an overall great unit. So let's go ahead and finish this video off with a showcase. Foi versus Childish, featuring the Olivia, the Wind Neostone agent. If you like this video, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Twitter so I can give you some sneak peeks on what's going down with regards to my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's your boy Childish, your Childish Plays, checking out. Take care, and we will see you in this live PvP match featuring Olivia, the Wind Neostone agent. I'm out.